All right, y'all. Let's talk about ideal HO slot cars. Oddly, the fact that they are less than ideal. They are not, well, they may be the worst ones ever produced as a slot car. I don't know. But other than maybe some foreign made jobs like Scale Electric Micro, I've never tried any of them. They got brushes on them like the bigger cars. But I got in it. I collect them when I can find them at a real cheap price because they're pretty junky and they're hard to find parts for. Main hard part is them pickup shoes. I don't know if they ever produced any replacement pickup shoes, but that's what they look like. They're kind of long. I haven't really adventured into trying to fit some other ones to it. They look like it might be a little bit longer than T-Jet ones, but I'll dig through my box one day and see if I can find some, because I have a whole bunch of chassis. I've had many bodies over the years. They don't hold up well. They use, I don't know, the stickers they put on there, you can see they yellow, the edges peel up. But one thing you got to give Ideal is they made a couple good sets. They were the first set that I knew that had the Dukes of Hazzard, which everybody recognizes those. Unfortunately, that set has a jump in it, and it's designed, I don't know if they designed it that way on purpose, but it sure does. This is one that's only been run maybe 3 or 4 times on a track, right? It's pretty much new. I still got the package. Of course, I rarely leave cars new in the package. I should have left this one because later on, several years later, I found a junk body. It's not too bad. The pillars are still intact, but you can see right there on the edge where them decals are, it's not really, they're not water slides, they're stickers. And they start discoloring and peeling. I could probably spray some clear on this and maybe get that a little more secure, but you notice that the mirror is missing on that. That'll be because of that jump action. And most of them you see used on eBay, you'll see most likely, unless you get a new in the package one, and they exist. I don't know what they go for now. I don't look for these anymore. I've gotten extra Boss Hogs and stuff and Dukes of Hazzard just because the chassis was intact and it was at a reasonable price. But you see that mirror that's still intact on the almost new one. So they did make, like I said, they made the Boss Hog set, Dukes of Hazzard. They didn't make a Daisy Duke Jeep, but they did in fact make a white Jeep. And I'm a Jeep guy. I love Jeeps. I've always been a Ford man, but I can't afford a Ford now. But I love Jeeps, and I have several myself. But I have I don't know if I have all the Tyco ones, but I have a bunch of Tyco ones. AFX only made 2. I got both of those. But every once in a while, I'll find a body that I haven't seen before. And that's why I keep all these parts, because I could probably revive it. The latest Jeep I found was this one, and I'd never seen this one before. It's very similar to the one they got labeled as CJ7, but it has I would say it's like in between a CJ5 and a CJ7 door pattern. It's a little rounded, but this one has a tire on the back, which is different, and no massive gas cans or anything. But like I said, they're the same basic slot chassis on. This one I put a Tyco pin on. I think that's a Tyco, might be a G+. But, and the reason is the pins that they normally have, which are real, might be hard to see on camera. They're super they're I don't want to say they're too flexible, but they are not tolerant. They break often. They have a double channel. I don't know what that's all about. I usually find that I got to be on the short channel for them to work right, or the front wheels won't be in full contact with the track, most tracks. And I've never owned any ideal slot car tracks. Maybe some of y'all out there got one. Let me know if the groove's deeper on those. But those pins are kind of hard to find. I got a few, but those silver ones that I put on there seem to work okay. And one of the main reasons these cars are not so great, I think they were designed with a lower voltage power pack. I don't know what the power pack was, but there's no magnets. There's like zero magnetism on these cars. So when you're running them, you're not doing high speed. The tires are always smoothed over. These are some I've replaced. I noticed a few of the models had chrome painted rim edges. I've got like 3 cars that are that way. The first one I ever noticed that was like that was the Knight Rider. I did another TV one, and it's got a little red bezel in the front, and it does have a light in it. I think this one, the wires broke. I might need to go refix that. But you can see there too where that's starting to peel off. I need to try to re-glue that down and get some clear spray on, because those stickers they're even flat colored, no shiny surface to them at all. But you see this Knight Rider one every once in a while, and it came in a set that had this truck. So the trucks that they have, they made 2 or 3. I got 2 here, but there's no guide pin on the rear to keep the back ass end from wobbling all over. This one's seen better days. It's about time for a new paint job. But they had a couple versions of that same truck. There's a TCR version, and here's a TCR, right? So that's the slotless. Now this body can't be converted to a slotted chassis because it doesn't have the little side clips. A lot of the TCR ones that are, I'm thinking this might have been, maybe this was a jam. Yeah, 3, so this was a jam vehicle. Is probably why it's screwed on, doesn't have the clips. But so that's an ideal jam car, and the wheels are permanently canted to one side, so it'll ride the rail either direction you go. It'll just ride on to the other lane. But then here's a slotted van. This is from the Chips. I don't have the motorcycle, but I'm not trying to find it either. There's nothing impressive about HO motorcycles. I don't think I've seen one yet that I'd be interested in. But so it's a similar size as that other, and they may have even made that other one in a slotted variety. I don't know. Ideals all over the place. There's never been a book for them. Some slotted bodies fit, and then some of them actually will trap the front, the pickup shoes. Like this pickup, for example. This was a TCR car, but it had the clips. So I put it on the chassis, but the pickup shoes were making contact with that front bumper area. So I had to trim it quite a bit off of it, but I got it to where it'll work. And this is a pretty cool looking truck. You can find these I bought that at Slot Car Central, the body, just on its own. It said TCR, it didn't say it fit a slot. but I put it on a chassis that I had, and it works fine. It seems a little large, almost out of scale. Not when you put it next to these Jeeps, but like I said, I got 3 of the Jeeps, and this one having a number makes me wonder if it came with a race set. I bought it from a fella in Canada, so maybe they had a different set that wasn't released here in the United States. If so, I'd like to find the other one that goes with it, because like I said, I love Jeeps. And then here's another body that I bought from Slot Car Central, and it's got translucent giant bulb on the top, but there's no bulb in it. But I'm thinking of putting a flasher in there, and it was the same case. This was either a jam, or not a jam, a TCR, and because it's not designed to allow them pickup shoes to freely flow because of the bezel that was in there for the headlights. So I'm going to have to either trim that down and just glue them in, or I'm thinking I might even be able to glue a couple LEDs in there and just have some actual working headlights. But then here's a truck, a cab over truck, right? Same trailer, but this one is in new condition. Same back pin. So most of them have a pin that go, the AFX and Tycos, and I think the Auto Worlds too, the pin is on the trailer, not on the truck. And they're, this may have also been designed to be a slotless, I don't know. I just recently got that one from, I can't remember where I bought that one, but it's pretty cool. I like the trucks, but like I said, they don't have that rear guide pin like an AFX or Tyco, and the Tyco's even got magnets on the rear. I don't know about the Auto Worlds. I hadn't really looked at. I have several of those Auto World tractor trailers, but so that's what, 3, 6, 9, 10, 12 cars I got there. And I'm sure there are other varieties. I go search every once in a while, every 3 or 4 months, and just look at ideal bodies and see. And what I'm always looking for is whether it has those large pads on there and where it'll fit on the slotted chassis, right? Like I said, jam cars, there's no pads on the sides. They're screwed in to the body, kind of like a T-Jet. So I wouldn't be interested in that. Although I'm thinking I might try to put a guide pin in the middle if I can correct the cant on them wheels. But I don't know that one's worth it. I just keep it. But the chassis, so bare chassis looks kind of like that. That one's been stripped down. Still in okay shape. I could rebuild it if I had to. I got a bunch of loose parts in a bag too. Here's what the rear axle and crown gear looks like. They used to be white. They turned yellow. They're pretty good at collecting cat hair, it looks like. Most of the tires are just bald and worn out. I did replace tires on one, and I don't remember what I used, whether they were Tycos or AFXs, but they're just some out of the box. The front wheels are always hard plastic. There's no tire on them. They're just affixed, and they don't spin independently. They're pressed on. Some of them came with lights, like the trucks, and the Knight Rider has a light in the front. The Boss Hog police car has a light up in the top. It doesn't flash. It's just one bulb up in that bezel area. And then that police car's it has the ability for lights, but it was, like I said, it was a TCR, not an ideal slot car, slotted. But, so this is what I do. And I've noticed I've got, the chassis all look exactly the same, but some of them are made in Hong Kong. I got one in there that says Korea. This one has a number 1. I've seen number 2 and 3. So I've seen up to, there's another number 1 chassis. So I don't know if the number 1s all had lights like that. And it's kind of hit or miss on the QC of how well that bulb will be soldered on. But you can see a lot of corrosion on the copper. These probably need to be resoldered. And I have found if you use too high a power pack, you will burn that bulb out. But see, now that one seems to be well soldered. And then there are some that had diodes. Somebody shorted this one out, which is not really a short. They just made it connect. With the diode, it would only run if the voltage was correct. And I don't know what the purpose of that was. Didn't want to, because if you turn it around the other way, they're incandescent bulbs. It doesn't care, but they don't run backwards, obviously. And then here's one that I pulled out of a chassis. I'm not sure if that was the factory bulb. The wires are a lot heavier. That may have been a replacement. Matter of fact, it almost looks like the kind of bulb that's in a HP7. The wire's thicker like that. Here's one. It's soldered well, but still thin wires. Then here you can see one that used to have bulbs soldered on. And those little pads that are snapped in there, they got that finger stock. See right there, that little finger stock that actually goes into a slot in the can motor. So you press those in, and then you pop the can motor in, and those blades are pushed into the contact area on the motor. And then on the bottom side, you hook the pickup shoes on. You got your springs down in them little hole pockets, and then clip them on the front. So they're not horrible complex to rebuild or redo or anything. It's just fairly low quality, lower quality than any auto world you'll see. I think the only good quality thing in there was probably the motors are all, I'd never come across a bad motor yet, but the wheels, some of them discolor fairly easily. I don't know if that's just because of age and what they were exposed to, but that seems to be the most common rear rims that's on there. And you see that front wheel has the like aluminum look instead of the chrome paint from the other one, from the Knight Rider. Knight Rider's got the shiny rims, and tires that I've replaced, they're silicones. But yeah, so that's about it. If any of y'all know what pickup shoes fit and where you can get them, let me know, because the hook looks, it's not tapered, but it's been ground down on the sides. So I would probably have to do something like that. Measure it out. My caliper battery's dead right now, so, but like I said, I'm gonna try some T-Jets or maybe some, I don't know, T-Jets or Magna Traction, something. They're the only ones that'd be close. There ain't no Tycos that I'm aware of that could work. But so there's a rundown of ideal or less than ideal cars. But like I said, if you're looking for something different, they do have a variety you don't see in the other manufacturers. So that's what keeps me interested in them. Like I said, they run like dog poop on a track. But if you run in a couple together, it could be fun. So that's it for now.